Welcome to the Master Your Millions podcast, the show all about your financial potential and leaving a legacy for future generations. Here are your hosts, Jason and Scott Henderson.
Welcome back, everyone. This is part 2 of our interview with Joe Hagan. We'll pick it up right in the middle of the discussion and enjoy.
Right. So I don't know if you have any specific questions on that. If I've answered your question, but IDEFI is, to me, what I wish all my years of knowledge, the first 10 years that I brought back to year one as a stockbroker. You know what I mean? Like all of what you learn, I did way better than following analysts just by, developing the strategy we did. But like, think about it. Like right now, can I ask you a question, Jason?
Go ahead.
What is Web3?
I know it's the next generation. I don't know a whole lot. Scott, could you answer that? You're younger. Come on, you're a millennial.
Not any better.
And what amazes me is you are the overwhelming majority. Overwhelming majority. Like everybody, like I'll talk to people that are really smart, like way smarter than me that don't know that. Like you two are probably way smarter than me. But my point is, it's like this indifference. Why don't I peel the onion back? Because everything works. Like, and I give you a perfect example. Like this happened when we invented electricity. There was friction out there. Oh, it's going to burn houses down. I remember when I first got to Wall Street, everyone was not excited about Word and Office products. I have a typewriter in whiteout and it works fine. Why do I need to know Word? There was friction there. I literally have one of my good friends and partners in deals made money working for Microsoft writing the first tutorials on Word. Another guy that I'm a partner in a different project is an MIT guy. You know where he made his money coming out of MIT? His first money. And this guy's like books written about him for being a white hat hacker, and he's a brilliant, brilliant guy. He made his money teaching doctors at Massachusetts General how to use email and how to use the internet for their business and make it more like literally like doctors would look at emails and like, I don't want to know it. And that's kind of like what Web3 is, only if you've gone through some of these, I don't know, historical things that have happened in Web2, it's almost like you guys should want to know Web3 more, because all it really means is that it's everything you do on the internet, only decentralized. There's no like one bank or government that's controlling all of your data and your assets. It's you. You want to do something, you have all your own data and you're in control of it on the blockchain. And if you want to pay Jason, Scott, or if you want to pay me, or if I want to pay you, it's peer to peer. I'm going to do it right on the blockchain. There's no, like we used to use the banks. Why? Because the banks would look in and say, okay, we trust, Jason Henderson's around the world. I don't know who he is. I'm going to buy something from him. I don't really know him, but I trust the bank to do the homework on him and know who he is. So I'm going to pay them a big fee. It's going to take a long time. How about, forget it. The reason why the government is doing this to Ripple is because they want their technology. Nothing's faster than the Ripple ledger. Like you can move hundreds of millions of dollars in a second, and overnight transactions are really, really inefficient. There's whole divisions of companies that would be wiped out because they're inefficient, because it's overnight interest, and even an hour of interest at that is a big deal. I don't want to go into the weeds on that, but literally blockchain, I could use Bitcoin and pay you and you're paid within, it used to be 20 minutes. Now it's, 20 seconds or less. Like literally there's four total of 8 validations on both sides. Yes, Scott, Jason, boom, transaction goes through. And by the way, it completely does away with a lot of fraud. So what I say to you about Web3 is nothing more than a blockchain. There's just it's the internet with incredible security, transparency. It is a digital ledger, right? Like Bank of America can't steal from Chase, or this one can't. You could track it on the blockchain. It is a digital ledger, right? So if you have a charity, you could see everything on that blockchain. You could see everything on that ledger. Oh, yeah. Hey, Jason, that Save the Whales Foundation, you got $1 million. Like, what'd you do with it? Oh, I didn't get $1 million. Yeah, you did. You can see it right on the blockchain. It's in your wallet. Like that's the wallet that, so there's transparency and all kinds of charities and And if you're a Canadian trucker and you wanted to, what did they do? They protested the vaccine mandate. Whether or not you agree with it or not, let's talk about censorship. Okay. They raised $10 million quick, and they were raising a lot of money. And what happened? The Canadian government shut down the bank, talked to the banks, and the banks shut them
Shut it all
down.
down. Yeah.
And then what happens? If you're actually on the list, you might be like Aunt Edna, right? You sent $50 to it because you believed in that freedom. Now you're on a watch list because you donated to it. So if you have we have a tool that is part of the IDEFI. It's more than education; it's training on how to use it. But you could donate, or you could and not be shut down by a bank or a government because it's decentralized. Oh my God, really? Like a decentralized GoFundMe, you can't get shut down. So there's so many advantages, and all Web3 really means is like I put it to you this way: Web 1 was like, it's data, and Web 2 is just social media. Web 1 is you log on through, user ID and password, right? Web 2 is you log on through social media. Web 3 is you got a digital wallet. You don't need 400 passwords. You take your digital wallet and you go everywhere. You're secure in it and you go everywhere on the blockchain through your digital wallet. How about this? Here's another explanation. It's no operator needed. No operator needed. So it's direct. Okay. Do you remember when the telephone one? Hello, operator, right? You call the operator and you say, can you dial, 212-324-8967? Yeah, okay, boom. Now you needed an operator assistance, and it was not secure. And then what was the next big thing? Oh, I could direct dial now. Oh my God, this is the next greatest thing. Direct dial. That's all Web3 is. Direct dial. You don't need an intermediary centralized company that's collecting all your data. Oh, and by the way, making all the money with your data. You control all your own data. So
are you saying that because it's decentralized, right?
yes,
That
yes.
big players in the past have been able to control some of this movement of money and funds and take a cut of it, right? They always take a fee of it, and then that it concentrates wealth in fewer places. And
True.
so with Web3, for the fact that it's peer to peer, that leech on wealth is not going to be there. So the masses will be able to grow faster in their own wealth because it's not being siphoned off all the time. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like there will be more of a personal increase, in wealth if you talk about just some of the things we talked about before with our other product with iFlip and the KK and using the AI, right? If you just took all of the fees and the commissions that the middlemen charge, that brokers and advisors charge, okay, and instead of taking that out, just keep re-putting it into something that's working for you, that compounds over time. And Warren Buffett has beautiful books and things written about how compound interest, right? Compounding returns, are magical. Well, now it's not only about big banks taking a fee, big governments printing more money. That's the beauty of Bitcoin. It's scarce, there's only a finite amount. But literally, think of when you log onto the internet, all of these people, companies, I should say, not people, Google, Amazon Web Services, whomever, you need them to get through. Yeah, it's great. It's free. I did it too. We all did it. It's free to get on. You get free access. They collect your data and sell it. So not only is blockchain way more efficient because there's no intermediaries, right? There's accountability, there's transparency, there's control, and there's ownership. No one owns your data. So, if you wanted to, and I'm sure these tools will be available in the near future, if you wanted to somehow collect your own data and then go sell it to advertisers, yeah, I am a, you know, Caucasian 50-something-year-old dad of 5 who likes golf and sports. Okay, here's my profile, whatever, go sell it. Now I'll look at ads that only I want to see, right? I don't have to look at ads because I'm more valuable to those people, but I'm in control of it. And maybe I get paid to give them my information and maybe I get further discounts, but it just puts the power of the people. I'm kind of getting away from, kind of the banking question, but it's all about not data is money. It's the new oil. So if you own your own data, you monetize it the way all these biggest companies in the world monetize them, and then you're better off. So there's complexity a little bit in Web3 when you hear it, but it's really not. Like once you take a ride on the bicycle, you say, holy shit. Like once you first use Word and you're like, oh my goodness, like I'm out of format. Like I don't have to rip out the paper and start typing all over again. Like I could edit, I can cut, copy and paste. I can organize it, put it in a file and send it somewhere. Oh my God, Excel has all these automated like formulas, and like I don't need like all these big physical spreadsheets on the wall and PowerPoint. All of these tools our kids are using in third grade, but when they first came out, it was like, oh, I don't know. I was one of those with my BlackBerry. I refused. My whole family was using Apple. I'm like, no, no, no. I was really good with my thumbs typing. No, and then I realized the power of the Apple ecosystem in the smartphone, and I was like, oh, I was dumb. And it's not about being dumb. It's just about just opening your eyes a little bit, and that's what we're going to do at iDefy. We're demystifying the complexity that is the blockchain, and it's really just a perceived complexity because the lack of understanding. What you're doing now works. Why change? Okay, riding a horse worked. Horse and buggy was cool, but the automobile was better, right? So, how can we take these tools and these inefficiencies and putting in the masses so that they get incredible value? And we do well. We want to do well too. We're not going into business so that we don't do well, but we're going to do great by helping other people do great. It's the only way forward. And so there's two ways of doing it. I started with Web3, right? And the idea was to package this with something that I met through, Randy Tate that and Kelly Korshak, right? Great people, right? Web3 to me is more like an education. I'm sorry, withdrawn. It's more like a training, right? We sell it as an education package, and there's really easy ways to do it. But have you ever heard of Linktree before?
No, I haven't.
Linktree is like a tree it's like a web page, it's a tree, and all you do is put all of your social media assets on there. Your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your Snapchat, your Instagram, all of your assets. Okay. And it's very popular. If you go to a celebrity, they have a link tree. It's the modern day. If you go to the younger generation, Generation X, whatever you call it, Scott, I'm sure you heard of Linktree.
No.
It's like the business card of this generation. Everything they have it's literally you go to that site and it's an aggregation of all of your Web2 assets. That's all it is. So what we have with iDefy, one of the very first Web3 trainings is very simple, called One Link. And all it is it's a cooler link tree where you're going to put all of your LinkedIn, said your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter, all of your stuff. You put it there, and then we're going to show you how to attach. And you can use a bunch of them, but we suggest Coinbase because you don't have to remember passwords. You use your biometrics, and you just connect a digital wallet to that one link, and then from there, we'll teach you how to just go do a bunch of things by yourself and make money, like get the training wheels on. What's one? Okay, let me give you one. Every billion, and I'm assuming that you're not just like an individual silo that doesn't really care about anything in the world. Let's assume you're a small business. You own an ice cream shop, or you're a dentist that has a whole bunch of patients in the area, or a chiropractor or whatever, right? Small business, right? And you realize that first of all, it's a digital world. Okay. It is completely going digital. I wrote another LinkedIn article about this, where Starbucks used to be a place. I remember when they were opening up one on every other corner down on, by Wall Street when Starbucks was first, in the 90s, a hot stock to buy. And it was a place where you go socialize, have some coffee, and go on the internet. You had internet access and all these great things. It is now completely on your phone. Everybody's on the phone getting their points through a loyalty program, and they're grabbing and going. They're doing it at Dunkin' Donuts. They're doing it at, Sweet Greens, salad places, cave bowl places, you name it. Most of it is, grab and go, get your points. There's a program I wrote about called Built Rewards, BILT. If you look it up, Indian guy that his dad, I think, sold InfoSpace, was a founder there. I think he had Tinder or one of those dating apps. I think he sold that, and he tells the story about how, what am I going to do next? And he was in San Francisco at a venture capital guy, had $100 million basically in an account ready for him to do this startup. And what are we going to do? It was In the metaverse, it's luxury goods. You're going to literally have a digital Prada bag in the metaverse. So it's like, really? $100 million so that there's a digital Prada bag in the metaverse. Is it like this? Like he wrote in the article, does this make sense? It's like he just wasn't getting it. There was a kind of a disconnect because even InfoSpace and even Tinder help people connect. They did something for humanity, help life a little bit. What the hell is like Prada bags in the metaverse going to do? So when he walked outside, the first thing he saw was a naked homeless man literally humping his scooter, and he said, "What is wrong? Like this is mental health. This is homelessness. This is this." And he came up with an idea on a rewards program, and he thought about the homelessness, and he thought about let me go a step further and realize that people are renting more and more and more and more. And he went to New York City to do this. He came to New York City and he realized that over 30% of people's incomes are going towards rent, especially the younger generation, right, coming up. And so he built this program where you literally get rewards for paying your rent on time through their app. And he pitched it for 2 years and no one listened to him. Now it's a $3.2 billion unicorn, and they're going to do mortgages next. Because you think about it, all of the stores and merchants and shops in the neighborhood, if you're paying your rent on time, you want traffic coming to your store. Why would he go buy average? This is all about Web3. There's all direct, right? Why not just incentivize the people in my neighborhood that pay their rent on time, that I want them coming in? So I'll give them a free dessert. I'll give them a discount on their entree. I'll give them, the first 5 shirts, dry clean for free, whatever it is. Now you're paying your rent on time. You're getting all these goods and services in your neighborhood that you'd use anyway. And he just added Roger Goodell, the NFL commissioner, onto the board, and Ken Chino, the Amex commissioner, American Express commissioner, on the board, and he's going after mortgages next. So, okay, here I am with this product in Web3 that has a bunch of things I was telling you about. One link that you connected to, create. We could show you how to create your own NFTs. Sounds like, oh, NFTs are dirty, because they're not dirty. They're like kind of like everyone's thinking of the $2 million cartoon apes that people were buying a couple of years ago that kind of went away. But really, an NFT is nothing more than like you're going to learn how to, like, you get a Word document and then import it to a PDF and then send it. Like that's going to be what you do with an NFT. You're going to pay parking tickets with an NFT. NFTs are just a unique space on the blockchain. Boom. But you'll learn how to create your own NFT for membership passes for your show. I'm going to go in, create, and then, by the way, if you pay, you got to pass. And if you have that membership pass in your wallet, you can come onto any show automatically, because we have something called token gating with these NFTs. Okay, you can promote. Promote is like that Web3 GoFundMe, but then there's also a rewards program, and I'll end with, if billion-dollar brands have a rewards program, why don't you? And the Web3,
And then your company, iDefy, is a place where people can come to learn this, right?
Absolutely. We'll show you how to use those tools as part of the subscription. And the vertebrae of the whole subscription is, okay, what's the other problem out there? Trading the markets using AI, right? And the iFlip program is where you can set it and forget it, where you can outperform the markets for the right, very, very, very cost effectively outperform the markets, and not worry about timing the market, because the AI does it for you. And by the way, it's a 7-year proven AI. So we want to train you on how to monetize Web3 and use these great new tools and be early, and also how to make money with AI in the markets.
Wow. So everyone, we're going to put the website for iDefy in the show notes, and you're able to come in and learn about this. I hope this has been useful. I don't know, Scott, you've been kind of quiet this time. What's been some of your thoughts about what's been talked about here?
Well, it's something I've been trying to wrap my mind around for a long time. I know you and I have had a lot of conversations about it, and I don't know a lot. And so it's been helpful to have some of these things spelled out and examples given. So I really appreciate you coming on and doing that. I'm really smart in my own competence, but you get outside of that, I'm not very intelligent on some of the rest of this.
However, it is Web3. I've heard it a bunch, and I know that it's something that's coming, and it's huge. here's a way for us to learn about it, and not only it's not only book knowledge, right? It's not, here, we're going to give you an explanation of it. We're going to give you an explanation of it and then show you how to monetize. That's the feeling I'm getting. Is that correct, Joe?
Yeah, and it's above that, one step above. It's easy to use. We're going to show you that it's not rocket science. You don't have to, like, you'll start learning more by just going through it, but it's really point and click, set it up and go. These tools,
Cool.
let me ask you this one other question, Jason. Have you ever heard of the word smart contract?
Say that again.
Have you ever heard of the term smart contract?
Yes.
Yeah. So you set up a parameter for your show. All right. You have a reach of how many people? Okay. I want all of these people, the idea of Web3 marketing, and I'll leave with this thought. Okay. For someone like your show, right? It's not about a rewards program where you buy 9 cups of coffee and you get the 10th one free. It is about your fan not just becoming, or your customer or your patient becoming just a repeat customer, but a rabid fan of your show or of your product, of your brand, of your practice, and literally becoming more than that, like more than just a repeat customer, and having a stake in the network. So what does that mean? That means, okay, you'll reward them. You're going to tweet. They get rewarded certain points. You can pay them in crypto. You can pay them in t-shirts. You can pay them in a lot of different ways, but you set it up. If they retweet, if they write a testimonial, if they do this, if they do all of this behavior, because everything is about customer engagement. Apple, Harley Davidson, all the best digital companies will teach you, the more a customer is engaged, they spend 18% more on average. Your customer retention is through the roof, and your profitability goes from 25 to 95% profit margins. Like, they go ridiculous. So customer engagement is everything. And if you can get customers to engage, oh my goodness. Well, smart contracts allow you to do that by spending 3 minutes to set it up, and then they run themselves. You don't have to have the bandwidth to have anybody watch them and track them. Literally, because of Web3 and smart contracts, it will pay everybody and settle everything in real time. So that's a mouthful. I know I fire hosed everyone. I'm real excited about what we're doing. I love the fact that you gave me the latitude to speak freely and have this stream of consciousness. But I think it's all going to be, if you rewind the tape, if you rewind the tape, it would be like me right now saying to you in 1989, no, really, cut and paste, send an email, do all these things that sounded kind of like friction back then. And it is so frictionless now. You're like, duh, all of these things are going to be frictionless very soon.
Wow. Cool. Thank you so much for your time. Hope this has been good for everybody that's listening. And in the event that you do like it, give us a like and a subscribe. I'll turn it back up to you, Scott.
Well, guys, thanks for tuning in. If you'd like to connect with Joe, we will put all of his links in the show notes down below. And if you would like to connect with Jason or I, make sure to hit us up on one of our social media profiles. Again, the links will be in the show notes down below. Last, remember that mastering your millions all starts with your mind and your team. Make sure they are the best. We will catch you next time.
Thanks for listening to Master Your Millions with Jason and Scott Henderson. Check the show notes for any links or contact information about today's guest. Make sure to follow the show so you don't miss any future episodes.